Hey, psst, psst, hey, yeah, you. Guess who it is? Guess who it is? It's actually Raven. Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing tonight? It's happy to be back in front of the camera this time. Last week I was behind the camera. And good friend Daniel was hosting last week. That was really fun. Gave me a little bit of a break from being in front of the camera. I'm used to being behind a little bit more than in front. But you guys have all been super supportive. Been really fun getting to know everybody. So, anyways, well, it is. Say hello to my little friend. Week 3. Yeah, we are. That's right. We're days away from our week 3 game. Friday, 2 days. This is episode 7 of our second series here with Minor League Fights and Insights. So tonight we've got a couple of awesome co-hosts. You know them, you love them. Daniel Wright. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? Apparently, the world tour of Daniel Take Over the Show has been postponed for another time. But I'm glad to be here nonetheless, and it's good to see you, Axel, back on camera. Beautiful as ever.
Thank you. Went out to the salon today. No, just kidding. And you love him. Love him. Derek Meerkat, how are you tonight?
Great. Once again, coming at you live from the Meerkat Den.
Excellent. Family's doing okay. Things are. Yep. People are getting right as rain over there. That is awesome to hear. Yeah. So we have 2 interviews tonight. We didn't have any last week. We just sort of simply talked games. Daniel did a great job, I might add. But we are back at it with minor league interviews. So tonight we have. Let's get into that spot. Here we go. All right. So tonight, joining us tonight on the line, we've got Darius Hawkins. He's the defensive end for the Tacoma Grizzlies, as well as, correct me if I'm wrong in pronouncing this, Azariah Way, who is the wide receiver for the San Jose Flight. Good evening to the 2 of you.
What's happening? What's good?
Hey, what's going on,
Azariah.
guys?
Azariah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. All right. So you both played each other on Friday night. Azariah has been giving me a little bit of a little 1-2 based on who I picked last previously. But that's okay. I'll take it.
You picked against us, man. I'm hurt about that.
It goes either way. You never know. So yeah, let's get to know you both a little bit, and then we'll talk about your game a little bit too. So Darius Hawkins, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Darius Hawkins?
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Darius. I've been in the league, I want to say about 3 or 4 months. I actually work for Rare Drop Sports, who we just actually entered in a partnership with you guys to host some of the SFL games that have been going on, mainly the playoffs the last few weeks. I'm just like a new guy, man. I really, really have been enjoying my time with the SFL. I kind of stumbled upon it through work, and I had a chance to actually talk to Cameron a couple of weeks ago, or actually a little bit over a month ago, to really kind of get to know the league, and I've got to know quite a few people. Shout out to the Tacoma Bears, man, the Tacoma Grizzlies all day. We had a tough game against the San Jose Flight, but yeah, I'm just happy to be here, man. Thank you guys for inviting me on.
Absolutely happy to have you here. Azariah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Man, Azariah Way, big play way. You know what I'm saying? Basically, man, very new to the league. Actually, like I was telling Darius, man, how I found out about the league was I watch a lot of gameplay, so it was recommended for some reason on my YouTube. I was like, man, let me check this out and see what this is, and got real interested quick, like 10 minutes off the muscle, and like actually fell in love with it and everything, and just like how the league's been carrying itself and what is potential to go to, and it's pretty dope on what I got going here. So I love it. And a little bit about myself, man. I'm from Central Texas, Killeen, Texas. I don't know if you can hear it in my accent or whatever, but
little bit.
little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. From Central Texas, clean to be exact, and just glad to be here. And thanks for inviting me. Go,
Absolutely.
flights up.
Cool. Yeah, so you guys both played, and you're both on the field at the same time, with Darius being on the defense, Azariah on the offense. How is it, seeing yourself out there, second week, second game of the season so far? What is it like seeing your player out there? Or do you like is your player an extension of you? How do you see your player? Do either of you have you played football or sports in any other way, kind of thing? Darius, how about you start?
Yeah, I say the biggest thing I think that's really cool and different from like a lot of other sim leagues that I've seen, um, the fact that you actually get to part, I look at it like you are participating in the game, and you really give people a chance to, kind of have that spotlight as if they were playing sports. And I come from a football family. I grew up playing football. Atlanta Falcons fans. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, so I'm always gonna rep the city, man. But I do really enjoy, just like the structure of everything, because everyone kind of makes it feel like a team, and people are very open. And once I got to join a team and talk to people, man, people are really cool and knowledgeable, always willing to teach, and you do get that team feeling and environment. And I think that's the coolest thing about the SFL, at least from my point of view.
Yeah, it's interesting. To sort of piggyback on that, Cam Curtis, I think in the SFLM Gen Chat earlier today, had put something, and it really, for me, because I never played football myself,
Mhm.
physically, or in action IRL, but so because of injury when I was a child, kind of thing. So this gives me that ability. He said something around. This might be a simulation league, but the aspirations are real. That they are
Yeah.
something behind that. And so whether you're a player, a coach, scout, doing graphics, doing social media, whatever you're at, whatever you're participating in, it is a real experience. And that's one thing that I've really enjoyed too.
Yeah.
Azariah, tell us a little bit about yourself, or not yourself, but like your player. How did you, choose your wide receiver, or that kind of thing?
Basically, man, I played football all the way up to high school. I played receiver, so it was like, man, I might as well create a receiver or whatnot, and just basically, I'm a two-sport athlete. Play basketball as well. Went to college for basketball. I ain't
Okay.
go to like no D1. I played JUCO, whatever. But I come from Texas, so Texas is a football state. So
Yeah.
basically, yeah, man. And then, but seeing my player out there and stuff, it's kind of dope, because it's like, man, it's like, I feel like the league accepted us with love, accepted me with love and stuff like that. And like the team that I'm on is like, we confident, and like they put more confidence in me and stuff like that. And it's just dope to see, man, how far this league can go, because it got so much potential to do like great things.
Yeah, I love that there's a place for everybody here. Whether that's from really weird people to really cool people, like you all. Um, what has been one of your favorite moments so far, Azariah?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. Our first game, man, like I was watching it live. Um, it was like the big play that I had. I was like, dang, that's crazy. Like it was a big play. Like it was like probably like what 60, 70 yards that my player got, and it was like, it felt good. Like it made my day really. I was like, damn, that's cool. I was like, that was cool. It was cool. And like the team was hyping it up, and like YouTube chat was going crazy.
Yeah,
It was dope.
very cool. And Darius, how about you? Is there any certain memorable moment so far for you?
Yeah, it's funny. I actually had a pick six touchdown my first
That
game.
was yours. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's a big six. It's called now. It's the big
yeah, the
six.
big six. That was pretty crazy, man. And I think that that's the cool thing about the SFL. You get those hype moments as if you were watching like an NFL game or even like college football game. Like you get those moments that, just like Azariah was saying, you feel that special moment with your team and stuff, especially like when a big play happens, or even a lot of the games I've watched this postseason. Cameron was kind of joking with me saying that the games haven't been exciting to him, at least like from the classics that you guys have had in the past seasons. But I feel like they've been pretty good games, and I kind of feel like this is giving me that football fix while the off season's going right now. You don't have
Mm.
the NFL to watch, so I get that on top of the feeling of watching my player perform, watching my team perform. It's kind of indescribable, I guess you could say.
Be careful because I used to watch the NFL. I haven't watched it since joining the league. So before you know it, like what NFL? I don't understand.
Got you,
Uh,
man.
um, curious to hear from you, Darius, and then we'll go to Azariah. So we have a lot of GMs, owners, etc., watching the show, whether that's live, whether that's recorded a day or two after, or as the draft nears, they might come on here to sort of watch your interview. Kind of thing. Is there anything that you'd like to share to potential GMs or owners that are looking for a defensive end, a defensive line player, that you'd like to share with them?
Yeah, man. If I'm lucky enough to be drafted this coming up draft, man, you guys will get somebody that's hard working, that's willing to learn. I'm not afraid to ask questions. That's really been the biggest thing for me is trying to learn as much as I can to help the team out. I've always felt like football is such a team oriented sport, and you can't come into somebody's locker room, come to somebody's team, and think you know everything, think you're the best person coming in just because you get drafted. So if I'm lucky enough, somebody wants to pull me in, you guys will be getting a good deal, man. So yeah.
Awesome. Is there any traits or characteristics of maybe an ideal pro team that you're looking for in a team? Like what do you look for in a team?
Uh, much like I think like if I could find a team that has a really good defense, defense has always been like a special thing for me. That's why I actually grew up playing defensive end. That was always the position I love to play. Just getting to harass the quarterback is always fun for me. So if I could just find a team that and I feel like it's just really important, man. Like I've seen like a lot of plays and stuff, especially in the majors. You have a lot of I want to say like pass happy teams, that have really good wide receivers. So I think getting pressure on the quarterbacks incredibly important.
Definitely. All right, Azariah, your turn. What would you like to say to any GMs or owners that might be watching about yourself? For some reason, we're having trouble hearing you. I don't know if there's like the connection. Could you try again? It's very muffled. I don't know if you had a headset on before.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Basically, just a student first. Basically, you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Just want to learn. Just being a family oriented uh organization. Basically, you know what I'm saying. Just trying to bring something to the offense. To make big plays for the team that needs a receiver. Um, just basically hard worker and just stay on the progressions every week. Asking what I need to progress in and to be better fit for the team. So just being
Awesome.
a student first.
Awesome. And is there any certain traits that you have that maybe you have for your ideal pro team?
Just basically, man. I'm with anything. Well balanced. I prefer like a good passing team, obviously, because I play receiver, but well balanced. That can do
Sure.
both. You know what I'm saying? So basically, just keep the defense off balance, like on a team that can do both. That can run it or pass it. So it's just basically it's my ideal team. Very balanced.
Awesome. Yeah, multidimensional. So you're not stuck in one or the other. Love
Right.
it. Daniel, your turn. Are there any hot questions you have for either of these two?
Well, I just want to know that Insider Edge, I knew about Mr. Hawkins and his rear sport partnership. A little key on that one. But Mr. Hawkins, I'll start with you. You're also known now as the Big Six. We've all seen it. We all loved it. What do you think that did for you to put you on the map coming this draft? Because we're only a few more weeks away. We're getting closer and closer. We're in the playoffs in the majors, and everybody's looking for players. What do you think that did for you?
Um, I think anytime you have the opportunity to make plays, it always kind of perks up the ears of the scouts, or it really help you get noticed. And my goals were probably a little bit different joining the SFL than the average person, but I think it really did kind of help me get noticed a little bit. I was watching I was watching the stream that day, and it was pretty incredible watching the reaction of everybody. But hopefully it got eyes on my character, man. I just want people to know that I'm willing to learn, to really kind of figure out the best way to progress my character every week. That's really like the biggest thing I've been trying to learn over the last couple of weeks. I really want, like I said, I really want people to know, man, you guys are gonna get a hard worker, somebody who's willing to listen. I'm gonna ask questions. I ask questions all the time to Tacoma. And people are usually pretty friendly and knowledgeable about answering them. So the big six, I'm gonna have to remember that. I didn't know that was the that's funny.
Oh yeah, that's the new note on it. So keep that one for you.
I love
Yeah,
it,
the
man.
community itself is very good. Like if you got a question, even me and Axel, you just send us a question, we'll answer it as quick as we can. The community is great with that. I remember when we played, it was always like that too. So it's
Yeah,
great that they're keeping doing that.
yeah, man,
Uh,
that's awesome, man.
Mr. Way, San Jose Flight are 2-0, maybe surprise 2-0 coming into the season. What do you think you guys got to get to the championship game? Do you think you guys are going to continue this train roll? This is your chance to, tell Axel all about it since, he picked Tacoma last week.
Yeah, man, we taking one game at a time, man. Like our coaches say, man, one game at a time, man. So I want a ring. Yeah, it looks good on the resume. So just one game at a time. Man, I feel like we got the team confident, and we just one game at a time. We got a big game coming up this week, and we just gonna take it one game at a time. Win or lose, I'm gonna bring them with me. So we just one game at a time. That's all we
Perfect,
focus on.
perfect.
One game
Yeah.
at a time.
Mr. Meerkat, Derek, do you have any questions for these guys?
You, um, Azariah. So you are third string wide receiver, um, in a minor league team, and there's other teams that have third string wide receivers. What makes you stand out going to the draft at such a um, being a third string over a
I
first, second string guy?
I don't I don't complain. I I trust my coaches, so I play by position. So if the coaches feel like, okay, you need to be third string, then that's what I'm gonna be, because I'm just gonna play my role. I mean, that don't move me, because at the end of the day, I'm progressing every week. So sometimes I have to move up. So that's how I look at it, and that's the positivity I'm gonna bring to it. I don't feel like it's a bad thing. If it works better for my team, then that's what I'm gonna play, because I'm a team player. So I'm not all about the stats. I want rings. You know what I'm saying? Banners hang forever.
Yeah,
So I want third string. I know there's a lot of other third strings. That don't matter to me. I'm focused on my player and my team and my position. I'm gonna play my role. If my coaches, I trust in my coaches. If my coaches feel like, hey, you need to play this in this playbook, or you need to play this in this playbook, then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna complain about it.
great. Sounds good answer. Uh, Darius. Um, so the beginning of the season, both me and Daniel were both pretty critical of Tacoma and the team that they had. You guys are 1-1, almost getting a win last week. What do you think has made them a surprise so far?
Well, I'd say probably the biggest thing. I'm not sure how they were previous seasons, but from joining this past season, this past off season into the season, man, it seems like everyone is on the same page when it comes to wanting to win and how to game plan, and really everyone, even days out from before the games, everyone's kind of talking about it, hyping it up, trying to figure out ways to improve the team. I think that the team element is probably the biggest thing for Tacoma right now, and that's the thing that I enjoy the most, is that everyone is really trying to figure out, hey, how can we improve in these areas? What can we do to to win games, because even with the last game we played against San Jose, it was a very close game. It kind of went down to the wire. But we're looking to rebound this week, man. Everyone's still got their heads up high, and I think that's going to do good. Keeping your morale up is really a big thing in sports. So we definitely still got ours pretty good. So
Right on.
Cool. All right. So I think we're all tapped out of questions for you. Want to be able to give you guys both sort of last words, and also Darius, if you want to go first, and do you have any last words for us or the viewers?
yeah, man. First of all, I wanted to thank you guys for having me on, man. This was pretty cool. I was actually kind of curious how ours were going to go tonight, and I actually had a good time, man.
Oh, good.
Thank y'all for having me on. Shout out to Tacoma, of course. Looking forward to getting a win this week. And of course, I gotta give a shout out to my job, man, Rare Drop. If you guys are curious about anything we got going on, man, make sure you guys check out Rare Drop Sports. We also have a convention coming up next June. This next month in June. It's called GCX, the Gaming Community Expo, where a lot of the money that we raise is for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So
Awesome.
That'll be down in Orlando, Florida. So you guys can check that out as well. So that's it.
A good excuse to go down to Florida.
Yeah, man. It's always a good time.
Gonna book my ticket now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Darius. And Azariah, any final words from you?
Slice up, man. Slice up. I appreciate y'all for even having me on here, man. I appreciate it greatly. I appreciate the conversation that we had. So I just appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate what y'all do for the league. So
absolutely,
it's all about y'all, about everybody.
Thank you so much. Yeah, anytime you both want to come back on, we're here for you. Feel free to join us on the shows. Check out, our upcoming shows or anything like that too. Great having you both. Awesome to hear or talk with the sort of the next generation, these up and comers, these young whippersnappers coming in. Great to hear you both. So that's Darius Hawkins of the Grizzlies and Azariah Way. What was your the winning way, or what was the thing that you had said, Azariah?
What? Oh, big play way.
Big play way. Yes. Awesome. Yeah.
He go make a play. Yeah.
This big play way from the San Jose flight. So good evening to you both. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, you too, man. You guys have a good one,
guys.
Thanks. All right. So great people. I love being able to meet both people from the minor leagues, actually get to talk, get to know them, even beyond just the texts that go on in chat and things. So there's so much more that comes through verbally is great. All right. So we had 4 really pretty fun games last week on Friday. Sort of our game of the week, we had assumed San Jose and Tacoma was going to be a shootout. It didn't really disappoint at all. It was a really hard-fought game between the both of them, sort of going ebb and flow a little bit, with San Jose coming out the victor 25-20. Daniel, what was your take on this game?
I think this is the game that I called the most that was going to happen. I said T. Queen was going to have a good game. And boy, did she. 9 receptions for 193 yards and a touchdown. Like, that's a massive game for her. I said the end of the game, or whoever's winning is going to make a big play on defense. Tacoma was near the end zone late in the game, already up. And they could have just ran the ball, turned some clock. They went big. They went for the big play, got an interception. San Jose bringing it all the way back for a touchdown, and then Tacoma had one last chance with time run down. Couldn't get it done, but that one big interception was what really sealed the deal for San Jose to get back into the game.
Wow. And Derek, what was your take on this game?
It was an exciting game to watch. At the end of that game, I was at the edge of my seat just watching that. Almost had my nose touching the TV. Yeah, it was a great game. It was awesome. It was about what I expected.
Yeah. And, we saw Ty Patak come out again, doing really well. We saw Shane Kaufman, being right there, getting the grabs. But did we see Jay-Z Bacon doing pretty well that game as well?
Yeah, he was. I think they said he was sizzling.
Yeah. He went
That's right.
15 carries for 108 yards. I think he had a pretty good night.
Yeah, 15 carries. That's what 8 yards a carry or something. I don't know. Doing the as some math in my head. Maths is hard.
Well, I can tell you because I can see it, but you were pretty close.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to do that math in my head. It was 7.2 yards per carry.
Okay. Cool.
But
And
no,
how?
he was a big benefactor for this, and of course Jordan C played really well too. Or Jordan Sipe, sorry, 32 for 42, 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Solid night.
Yeah, solid completion percentage. What was? How about the running back for Tacoma? How involved was he?
The Tacoma running back.
That's JB Elliott. Again, this was
JB
the
Elliott.
battle of JB versus JZ.
He had a decent night. I think he had a better night last week, actually. He only got 15 carries for 40 rushing yards. I think I remember him having higher, close to 60s maybe, last week. So it was a bit of a down, but Pack played pretty well, as usual. Just those interceptions late, cost the game.
Yep. Gotcha. All right, game 2. We saw Lincoln trying to take it to Lexington, and Lexington doing a 180 from their week 1 performance, which I think we expected. Knowing Ethan Kai was going to be like, okay, now I have game footage to study. I'm going to make all the needed changes and things. Daniel, what is your take on this game?
I'm just going to take a moment. We're going to pour one out for my player of the season, Julio Usman. He will be leaving the Lexington Miners as they picked up a new quarterback. So if I had more notes, I'd rip them up right now. But
if you
guess I can't win anyway.
Usman grinds your gears this week.
You know what, Grounds, Mike? He didn't have that good of a night, surprisingly enough, even though Lexington was the winners. Like, he only threw the ball 19 times.
Okay.
It was a pretty light. He was 14 for 19 with 2 pass TDs, but it was a really light night for how many he had to throw.
How did Pierce do?
Pierce, on the other hand, I'm glad you mentioned, 25 carries for 86 rushes, so he was pretty good. Up to the JC Bacon kind of similar yards per like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the defense though that really stood out in this game with for the Miners, I believe. Yeah, the Miners defense really stood out. They were able to get a pick. They were really able to hold Lincoln down and really control the field.
Those rushing yards, Lincoln couldn't rush. They couldn't do anything on the ground. I think they had like 31 yards rushing. And
wow.
That was it.
Yeah, it seemed
17 carries.
I remember seeing like some of the chat, the Lincoln players like, what are we doing? Come on, guys, what's going on? Really trying to like, this is not the team that we thought we were, kind of thing. I think it seems like counter to what the playing style and things leading into the game itself.
Yeah, and
that kind of took me aback a bit was the fact that Lottie Lou did great, but didn't score. He was 11 for 148 with no touchdowns.
Wow.
I just want to make a quick point to Lincoln here. You know what else grinds my gears? I picked you guys to win. You're 0-2. Please get a win in the column next week.
Speaking of 0-2, we'll move on to game number 3.
Segue.
So yeah, game 3 we saw Ottawa head south, not too far to Madison in Wisconsin, and it was a pretty low scoring game. It was a battle of I want to say defenses that really couldn't get going terribly well on Madison's side. Doing some again really heavy running with Marcus Duncan, and just wasn't as fruitful as what they're hoping for. Let's start. Derek, tell me what your thoughts are on this game.
Well, the one thing that stands out to me the most was that it was odd because neither quarterback, I don't think either of them made a mistake.
Mm-mm.
None of them got a pick, but their yardage was super low in that game. Nobody could really air it out, but the end of that game was exciting. It was exciting to watch, and I think I think they came up short by about a foot for the first down, if I remember right.
I think so.
Yeah.
And Daniel, what's your take?
I just got to hype on what Derek just said. He just didn't nail on the coffin. For example, Jive went 22 for 27, but only had 139 yards. Like, that's just mind blowing to me when you think
22,
about it.
22 completions
And
for
only 139.
139. That's four or 5 yards a
Yeah.
pass. That's really low.
The deep ball wasn't going for anyone. And Xander Moon is just as bad with 23 completions for 157. No one could get the line ball going. But
So stout defenses, pretty much.
pretty much stout defense. I do want to hype up Dwayne Salmon for 19 carries and 98 rush yards. Pretty much the difference in the game by the sounds of it.
That does seem. How many yards did Duncan have?
Marcus Duncan was 27 for 56 yards.
Okay. Yeah, 2 yards a carry ish. That's tough. You don't really. That's a lot of carries for not much production, sadly. Yeah, so it seems like the running production was the difference there, and both defenses came to play. So awesome. So game number 4, Albuquerque at Annapolis. Here we saw, it's 3-23. Annapolis taking away the game. I believe it did start. Obviously, it starts at 0-0, but it didn't start like a big breakaway game like this. If I remember correctly, it took a little bit of a while to get things rolling. Derek, being an ex-Annapolis person yourself, tell us a little bit about this game.
I mean, it's kind of the square bush show again, right? The total yards. I'm looking at the total yards right now. 351 to 142. That says it all in this game. It was, like you said, it started out not one-sided, but then, and as it went on, and that's kind of the way week 1 was with Annapolis. It was slow at first, and then the second half it got ugly.
And Daniel, what is your take on the game?
From what I can tell stats-wise, I watched a bit of the game. This is the one game that I didn't get to see the most of, unfortunately. And I figured Squarebush was going to run away with it. He definitely did. But Charles Blanton, 15 for 32. 15 completions out of 32 attempts. Not a good day at the office.
No.
Here's the kicker. Only 76 yards.
Passing yards. Wow.
76 pass yards with 4 INTs. So that just shows how good that defense over there at the Navigation still is. And they were one of the best defenses last season. And they just held Blanton down, and he's a gold QB.
I know you had mentioned, just to stay tuned to Gene Struthers. How did he do in the game?
Well, Gene Struthers, he doesn't disappoint most of the time, right? But he had his yards are good. He got the turnovers he got to watch. He had 2 INTs, 1 pass TD, 208 yards, 24 out of 33. So the yards are there. Just got to clean up the mistakes. But this team is all about Squarebush, and Squarebush is just playing at a different level than everybody else.
I also want to do a shout out to my former teammate Gond, who had 2 picks and a touchdown that game too.
That's great seeing him back into his form from last season. Dropping that weight from being a DT during this last season. Cool. All right. I think I might be getting a call. Is maybe.
Don't tell me it's who I think it is, Axel. Not again.
I think so. Hold on a second. Hello? Hello, are you there?
Hey, Axel. I'm glad you got me back here.
Hey, it's my papa. Hey, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, good. I know you wanted me on earlier, but I wanted to give these young ones a chance to shine with the couple weeks of the season going on, and to hear them talk makes me feel good. Talking about memories they're creating already, and if I could remember some of mine, I'd tell you about them. But I'll move on.
Okay.
I know you've been wanting me to swing by the house too, but with gas the way it is, I can't really afford it. But I figured out a solution.
Okay.
I'll be there tomorrow morning, bright and early. So make sure you got a cup of coffee ready, and you don't have to worry about coming to my house because I know you get kind of sketchy around my irritable bowel stuff. But I farted on my wallet, and now I got some gas money. I'll be there in the morning now.
Oh, good. I don't know if that's how it really works, but I'm glad you think so.
Well, before I go, I want to tell you something. That Squarebush boy y'all talking about, he ain't got to worry about gas money. He can run wherever he wants to. He ain't got to worry about it.
Absolutely. Maybe you could ask him for like a piggyback ride or something.
Yeah, he can give me a ride to Wally World. I'll tell you what, I got a couple things I could pick up right now before your mama whoops me. I think I forgot something.
Uh-oh. That's never good. That's never good. Well, I'll give my love to Nana. And we'll talk to you. We'll see you tomorrow for some black coffee. I'll have it ready for you.
See you in the morning.
All right. Good night, Papa. All right.
You really need to stop giving him the phone.
I think I need to maybe change my number in his cell phone. It's a flip phone. So. All right, so that sort of that settles in our last week's results. But we've got 4 more great games coming in 2 days, 48 hours. All right, so the first one we're going to go through, we've got Annapolis at San Jose. We've got, again, Annapolis coming out the victor last week, 2-0 right now, coming in against San Jose, which I believe is 2-0 as well. So this might be maybe this is the game that we're a game of the week. Maybe we were hoping for last week. Maybe they'll be, maybe San Jose will go through the air and Annapolis go on the ground, and we'll see a lot of points up. I don't know. Daniel, what is your thoughts on this game?
This is a game that's gonna, I think the flight might get grounded by, because that Navigators, their defense is tough, and we just saw what they did to the poor Adams. So, and Squarebush is just going to keep running. There's no stopping Squarebush. He's just going to run. He runs every night and day. He just couldn't get away,
Yeah. Derek, your take on this matchup?
I gotta say it's gonna be it's probably gonna be the Navigators here. Most likely, Squarebush is gonna do the same thing he's been doing, but I do think that we might see a lot of running out of both teams. After what I saw from Jay-Z Bacon last week, and looking at Annapolis, most of their strong points in that secondary. So if Jay-Z Bacon can get going, he's going to get a lot of yards too.
All right. Well, so again, yeah. So Randy Squarebush a huge runner. Looking at the San Jose Flight's front group, they've got single defensive tackle, 2 defensive ends, but they're all 3 copper. Again, they're building up themselves, right? Jacob DeBall had a really good season so far, being a pretty solid blocker or solid defensive lineman there. Just a really fresh. They don't have an outside linebacker at the moment, and again, a sort of a younger inside linebacker with Adam Chance. So that front might be a little soft to sort of stop Randy Squarebush. That defensive back crew is going to be probably putting in a lot of work in there. Similar situation, I think, with the Navigators. We've got Jay-Z Bacon, who we've seen can do a really good rushing job. Finesse back, very different style of running than Squarebush. A little bit more slippery and soapy to get through there. We'll see. I just because I have to do this for the sake of big play way. I'm gonna pick San Jose just because I'm also gonna be different than you two. So
it's okay, because you want to be opposite of me, because I pick horrendously each and every week.
Cool. Yeah. Again, looking at both, the Flight don't have the 2-way wide receivers that I guess Orain Darby over on the Navigators side at Silver. But they've we saw a lot from Jay's Viper last game so far, and Azariah Way had a really nice game in week 1.
And last week, Terrell Cooper actually was the standout for the wide receivers on the San Jose Flight. He had the biggest game.
Gotcha. And Derek, your person to pay attention to was Tyson Thorne, was it right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Been
we'll see.
I know he got his first pick last week, so that was good to see.
And we've got Jerry D gone back there too. So
Yeah, he's
a beast back
he's
there.
a pick machine.
Cool. All right. So it sounds like you two are navigators. I'm just leaning San Jose just for the sake of Big Play Way. San Jose, Big Play Way. I should go into rapping. No.
Please don't.
New single coming next week by Axel Raven.
Okay. All right. Enough of that. All right. So next we've got Lexington visits north of the border to Ottawa. I have a couple notes here. They're not updated in the portal just yet. Not completely, I guess. Like you said, R.I.P. Usman. Yeah, again, big reason to get your progressions in. You don't want to miss progressions because then you first you hurt your team, you hurt yourself, and eventually, if you miss enough, you lose your spot on the team. Sadly, and happily, the positive of that is at least there's these open spots for these high desired positions like quarterback and wide receiver. So we have Chad Moore now, the absolute brand new fresh quarterback coming in for Lexington. Thankfully, he's got a solid wide receiver crew to be able to do what he needs to do, to be able to pass to. On the other side, on Ottawa, Tyson Burns was released due to missed progressions as well. So again, hurt your team, hurt your own player, missing them. Be a team player, get your progressions in, and you try to advocate for others on your team to get in there. As what is it? Love. It's all out of love and desire to make you grow, make your player better. That people are doing. People try. That's not how they're not trying to hound you, but it's good to get it in. So, but with Tyson Burns being released, that opened up a wide receiver spot that then was filled by a recently retired Isaiah King, the third, which now is the fourth, I believe. Was he the third before or fourth? Part of me thinks his naming convention was like, oh, new player, new another little check mark at the end, I guess, with the 4 instead of 3. Anyways, sorry, I'm talking a lot there. Daniel, what is your take on this game?
Oh no, I'm still mesmerized by your beatbox, and I'm telling Angela right now that you'll sign autographs. We'll sign autographs right now.
No.
But for this game, Lexington, I think they showed it a little bit that they're as they're changing their direction of going more run heavy. They're gonna need to do it now because my player of the season is gone. I lose everything, but Lexington played really good defensively. Ottawa is a sneaky good team, has the surprising people and been locked down on defense. Like, they have not let people have points. You're not allowed to have points with Ottawa. They're a bend but don't break defense. And I actually, with Julia Usman gone, I got to lean to Ottawa a bit on this. I think the defense is going to come up big. Pierce will play decently, but once they have to go to the throw game, if they ever do, which they will at some point, I'm sure, those corners and safeties, they're just going to be licking up waiting for it. That is a madhouse over there on that defense.
And Derek, your thoughts on the game, on this matchup?
Honestly, not much different than Daniel's. With a brand new quarterback and how good Ottawa's defense has played. I mean, we saw how many passing yards they had Xander Moon had last week. So, I also want to say that Daniel, don't pick anybody else as your person. We don't want to curse anymore.
No. I'm done with picks. No more picks of people. I will say go to the next person.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, again, it's with Chad Moore coming in at quarterback. We'll see sort of a wild card. We'll see how well he's able to step up. what his body build is like and how he ends up progressing in things for the rest of the season. It's got some really solid receivers out there. Pierce is going to be a tough runner. I feel like power backs are ebb and flow. Sometimes they have a good night. Sometimes they're a little stingy to get going. As always, the defense for the Lexington Miners, above and beyond, above average there. And like you both were saying, Ottawa has the same situation. In general, it's going to be a solid defense against defense game with probably a lot of, like you said, a lot of heavy running by Pierce, trying out the passing with Moore, and probably Cyrus Jive and Salmons are going to be going a little bit more ham, perhaps. Maybe short yardage, inching that ball down and not risking too much going over the top into that snake pit that is back there in the backfield. So I have to put my faith in Ethan. I think he might have something up his sleeve with Lexington. And again, just picking different than Daniel. So
it works out in the end, trust me.
All right, cool. We've got another game. Excuse me. Madison is heading down to Nebraska. I think that's where Lincoln is. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. Man, I keep laughing.
I'm Canadian. I don't know anything.
Yes, I mean the one I know is Nebraska.
Okay, well we'll say that it's heading down to Nebraska, the Sunshine State. I don't think so. That was intentionally wrong. Yeah, so we see again. Xander Moon had slow going last week. Logan Lee over on the other side really hitting his stride. I think doing okay. They didn't have the greatest game last week either. What is your take, Daniel?
Michael, buddy, we need to have a chat here, okay? Lincoln's 0-2. You told me not to worry, and I'm worried a little bit now, okay? I'm just having a little concern. Two of these teams are probably surprisingly 0-2, right? We thought Madison would do better. I had faith in Lincoln. Maybe I'm a crazy madman, but I thought Michael would do stuff in there, and I still have faith. I'm not giving up on them. They need to win this game, Lincoln does. Same with Madison. Both teams need this win. Only one gets it. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tough. Lincoln needs to get their offense in order. Their offense needs to start scoring, and their offense needs to start playing. Their defense has been doing well, and Madison, pretty much the same thing, right? Their offense struggles a bit here and there. Can't get the final points they need into a game. So I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think whoever runs the ball is going to have the better showing. That's what I'm feeling.
Gotcha.
But I got root for Lincoln, even though it hurts me to do at this point.
Derek, what's your thoughts on this matchup?
I also think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I mean, we've seen some low scores from these teams, and I think it's going to, like Daniel said, I think it's going to take a good run game to win, because I don't think either of these teams can air it out right now. But that being said, I think I'm going with Madison here. It's going to be a close one. It might be one of those games that comes down in the last drive, but I think Madison's going to pull it off.
Yeah, Frankie Custer in that backfield is a problem for whatever opponent that Lincoln faces for the most part. Excuse me, got a little tickle in the throat. On the opposite side, on Madison, they just got a second DE onto their defensive line, so they've almost got three solid defensive linemen up front. Jobu McSlim has had a pretty good season, as well as Mike Mello. Mike Mello, I think last week sadly had a handful, maybe it wasn't a full handful. It might have been 2 or 3 offsides penalties, encroachment penalties that really hurt the Lynx during I think it was a pick that they were able to, or maybe it was the botched field goal. I'm sorry, a punt thing that happened, and really shot Madison in the foot, sadly, with that. it's hard to tell what exactly. Obviously, progressions help your player play better in those ways. I don't know exactly if it's consistency or what it is that keeps them from doing that as often. But Matthew Alvarado back there as an inside linebacker, and then paired with the defensive line might be enough to stop Logan Lee for whatever that Lincoln has cooked up on offense on the ground.
Also, something you should know is Ricky Tullis. Looks like there's a little X on his mark now.
Oh yes, his progression. He's been missing a lot of the progressions, and was released, which opened up a wide receiver position, and it looks like he actually re-signed back up to take that spot back again potentially as well. So it might be still Ricky Tullish, but maybe zeroed out and brought down to wide receiver number 3, and King Jackson brought up to number 2. I'm not sure exactly how all of that works, and think that's above my pay grade. Wait, I'm not getting paid.
Interesting fact here. Frankie Custer has yet to get a pick this season.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Are you saying he's getting one this week? Please tell me you're saying he's getting one this week.
He hasn't gotten one in the games. He's gotten some in my Sims this week, though.
It's more of I'm surprised that he has not gotten one yet.
I'm sure it is literally a matter of time, and it might be the type of. I'm not sure exactly. I went to look who their defensive coordinator is over there. I'm not sure exactly. It didn't have it listed in the information spot. So I'm not sure if it's the type of defense that they're playing or the type of offense that opponents are playing against them, trying to go run heavy with him back there, kind of thing. So we'll see. All right, we've got one more game. So we've gone through 3. This is number 4. We've got Tacoma Grizzlies traveling south to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to take on the Adams. We saw. We talked to Darius Hawkins earlier. It was great getting to know him. Let's go, Derek. Derek, tell us your thoughts of this game.
I think this could be another close game, but I really think that this is going to be the game where Type Attack can show that he's the real deal, because he's had 2 good games after I completely bashed this team going into the season and said they weren't going to do anything. They are surprising me, and with this, Albuquerque's got a decent defense, and I think that if he can light them up like he has been, thrown to Kaufman, thrown to Queen, I think he might have arrived.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it's maybe Tacoma's game to lose, or maybe Trellis Blanton's game to win, as well as Albuquerque's defense. They might see how they match up against the Grizzlies offense. Daniel, what's your take?
So before I talk about the teams, Ty has mentioned in the chat I can pick him for my player of the season now. So with that on the board, I have picked Ty Patak for my player of the season part 2.
Oh, what have
There
you done?
young man. But so Adams have a good defense on paper, but in the first game, we saw them get lit up on throws in the middle. Deep throws in the middle, gone for long gains. And if that's the same thing that happens, if Albuquerque hasn't fixed their defense, Ty, I'm telling you right now, I have the utmost faith in you. I'm a Tacoma guy. I always have been. Axel has as well. You guys are lighting up. You guys are surprising all of us. I'm going to say it. I'm surprised at how well you guys are doing on the offensive front of the game. And you know what? T the Queen, you're playing outstanding as well. And Darius, I love Darius Hawkins now after the interview today. I'm a full believer that this is going to be a great team and a great community of people that will get drafted into the future.
Do you think they will beat our season 3 500? I think we were the first Tacoma team to go above 500.
We were the first Tacoma team to go above 500. We had a horrible start, but this could very well be with the fact that St. Kaufman's back as a two-way player. They have the potential to score, and I would love to be the only team in Tacoma history to make playoffs and do things like that, but they were destined to do it last season to make playoffs, and they kind of, I don't want to say they burned out, but they kind of burned out in a few games.
Mhm.
I'm hoping Tacoma gets back in there. I'm a full believer of T the Queen. Sorry, T, you're always my pick. Don't worry. I'm gonna pick you again as well. Don't worry.
If there was a Tacoma team to overshadow us, this would be a great one to do it. Huge. Patak has been playing really well. Kaufman's been playing really well. To Queen, big props out to you as well. Yeah, I. In addition to that, Jalen Wells has taken up the offense of from Ezekiel Love this season so far. So he's in there doing the offensive game planning, and then Zach Holdorf is doing the defense again. You know, learning as they're going, but I think they're doing a great job so far, and it might be what was needed on the game planning to sort of take them to that next level, even with the crew that they have right now.
Yeah, the Adams need to get their offense together. They've struggled. Charles Blanton had a good, okay first game, like a good first game, but he never got. They were having trouble getting to the end zone. And as much as I love Mickey, we need more points from, touchdown. Mickey can't do it all himself.
Need more cowbell, or whatever the SNL joke is. Um, yeah, I feel like this is, again, like you said, this is a Grizzlies game to lose. Ultimately, I feel the Adams haven't proven themselves yet to be the Adams that we know from the past. They no longer have Doug Brown to rely on to move them down the fields. Blue Scott's doing okay, but not enough for what they need. And Travis Blanton is going to need to step up and use his receivers. So cool. Well, that's. Is there a game of the week? Let's talk about that. Is there a game of the week in your eyes?
I would say Madison Lincoln. I don't think it's going to be exciting 35 to 40, but it's going to be a close nail biter game, I think.
Gotcha.
If San Jose can step up to the Navigators, I think that might be the game of the week if they can keep it close. It's all about stopping square bus, though.
I have a feeling that Annapolis San Jose will be the game, the one to watch. I think it's going to be exciting and probably go back and forth, one on the ground, one through the air, and a little bit on the ground as well. Just a little bit switcheroo there. Well, cool. Well, that pretty much sums up our show, and we're just about at time, so that's great. Daniel, any final words you have for anybody watching tonight?
Yeah, minor leaguers, rookies of all ages. Uh, Now is the time to talk to owners, talk with them, chat with them, get to know them because everyone's scrambling with expansion season just around the corner. Everybody's scrambling to figure out who they have on their roster. Now is the time to do so. I know there are several teams doing interviews with their current players to see who's sticking, who's going. So this is the time to get to know people. This is the time to make that leap up and say, hey, I might be your guy. Here's why, blah, blah, blah. Do your thing. So, guys, get in there, talk with him. Also, Axel, just for you, Chad Rowland said he'll love to be on the show to tell the rookie something sometime. So there you go.
Excellent. I'll reach out to Chad, the good guy. Derek, any final words from you tonight?
Well, first I'll mirror what Daniel said. I remember this was about the point where I started to reach out last year, and it's always good to get your name out there, and especially with in the draft when if you're a guy that just came in the league, you're not your overall has been great, but if you're around there later on and and GM goes, oh, this guy talked to me, he seemed like a cool guy, take him. But also I want to say, type attack, just be careful tonight. You got the curse now, so don't break a
I'm
leg.
sorry, Ty. I'm
Don't-
sorry.
Look both ways before crossing the streets. Just be careful, man.
Awesome. Oh, I can't get through. There's a ladder there. I guess I'll have to go underneath. Oh, there's a black cat.
When I say there's a right way of doing things, I don't mean the curse, guys. Okay, the curse is not the right way.
Gotcha. Well, cool. Thank you guys. Thank you, Daniel, for being here. Thank you, Derek, for joining from your meerkat den. I'm hoping sometime we'll definitely have to plan a time to get together. I'd love to check out the meerkat den in all its glory. Cool. Thank you all for joining us. We're here for any questions you might have. Love the competitiveness that we're seeing against the different teams. All of that with love and respect for each other, and loving seeing the chats that we see during the games. Get ready for that. 48 hours away. We'll be bound to have an amazing Friday night coming up here. Thank you for joining us, and that's pretty much it. That's a wrap. So, from all of us here at Minor League Fights and Insights, good evening.
See you later, guys.